Sunday. Just back from retro, back from eating after retro, hanging out with drama a little bit, and got to get ready for return to the daily, weekly, weekday grind tomorrow, as in Monday. Anyway, I want to talk to you guys about pre-workouts. Pre-workouts. Now, as crazy as this is going to sound, let me fix this little Jerry word shuffle here. I don't know if it'll do me any good, especially right now. I'm holding water. I'm like kind of puffy and shit because I'm taking some creatine, which I should know better than to mess with. It always does that shit to me. But anyway, pre-workout thing. Believe it or not, though it might sound nuts to some of you guys, I kind of see, well, more than kind of, I'm starting to see the exact point that our buddy Jason Blaha over there has when he's always slamming on all these supplement companies. Now, I don't agree, of course. You know, supplements are extremely useful. When you're supplementing with them, they can be extremely useful. But this pre-workout thing's getting out of hand. In my opinion, it's my opinion. And you know what? That's probably the old curmudgeonly me coming through at this stage of the game. If I were younger, I'd probably be slamming down, you know, all these... I don't know, though. It's not my generation thing. We didn't have these kind of things. We had regular sugar and shit, but I don't know. It just seems to me that all these pre-workouts now, I don't know why they call them pre-workouts, because it doesn't necessarily have to be before a workout. They're just energy drinks. There's like a stimulant. It's like they try to find these gray market ingredients, and loopholes and things so they can, who can come out with the most powerful stimulant just to, you know, rev people up. I mean, like I don't know. I don't know. Look, if you want to have that out there, that's fine. You know, if you want to drink a Monster Energy drink before your workout, I don't care. It's a free country. Do what you want to do. If that's what you consider a pre-workout. So see, before, when I wasn't seeing his point, thought it was just crazy. I didn't look at it from that perspective. To me, a pre-workout is the items that I put together. That, you know, I pick singular components, and I put them together to make a drink that I'm going to mix up and consume pre-workout to fill a particular desire or need or a void in my diet, or just to give me a little bit of an advantage that I feel and I experience, okay? And you already know what all I do, but it seems to me that the pre-workout, if it's a pre-workout, if it's that related to working out, that it's before your workout, it's the thing you need, it shouldn't be like meth or crack or some fucking, you know, a rail coke or some shit, basically. I don't know that that's... they need another name for that shit. Pre-workout, it kind of makes it confusing, because when I talk about pre-workout, what I'm talking about is nothing like that. When people talk to me about pre-workout, I'm not expecting that you're talking about, you know, a cup full of stimulants that you're going to drink. I'm thinking they're talking about whatever they're going to do. Like in my case, I initiate an insulin spike. You know, I generate an insulin spike pretty much the same exact way that a medical doctor is going to generate an insulin spike if he were giving you a diabetes test, or to see that you could manage your sugars, your blood sugar level. And I've put a lot of thought into it, and I've done it on video. I use a glucose meter to figure out exactly how much I can, you know, hold, or how much I can utilize before I would, for lack of a better way to explain it, spill over into that. It would be so much left over at the end that my insulin would still be running high enough, and there'd be so much sugar available in the blood still that there's no alternative but for it to go into fat cells when I'm finished if it were still really high. So I don't want a bunch of excess left over at the end. And I want it pretty much managed by the end. By the end, I want it almost near the end, but by the same token, I don't want to crash. You know, so that's kind of, it's the things that I take for a particular reason. So that's what I consider my pre-workout. You know, but now these pre-workouts, they're just, most people are talking pre-workouts, they're just they're stimulants. So when people, you know, and another reason this comes up and is an issue to me lately that I'm giving so much thought to, is some really nice guys ask me and their students to review a supplement. They've got a supplement company now. They've put the, you know, young entrepreneurs, they've come out with a supplement. And at first glance, when I looked at it, I looked at the ingredients, I thought, you really want me to to review this. It doesn't have what I would consider anything that I need pre-workout. Okay, you kind of are going by a textbook type of definition of what you think should work. You know, what on paper looks like it would work, but in reality, it's not what works. And if you were me, or you had a physique and you had enough muscle that you could hold glycogen, and you understood how that actually worked in application, not on paper, not so you can explain it to another person and they too can't really do it, then you would have formulated you would have formulated your product differently. But I don't want to say anything negative about them because they're good guys. And then it occurred to me, aha, their pre-workout probably will be very successful and very popular, just not with a guy like me. Because the young crowd, the guys that made like Jacked or Jacked 3D or whatever the hell it was, so hugely popular and it was supposed to be some superstar pre-workout, I thought it was shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my kind of thing. But it didn't have what I need, you know, which is going to make me bitter. Okay? If I took it, would it wind me up and make me like nuts? Sure. Am I looking for that? No. No. I'm already nutty enough. Anyway, so then it occurred to me, you know what? It's just a generational thing. I'm looking for something different. These kids today, they love these energy drinks. And that Jacked 3D was a huge hit with a lot of people. And their product, if I'm comparing it to something like that, is comparable. It may be better. So who am I to say that it's not any good, even though it's not my cup of tea? It doesn't fill my needs. And then I'm thinking, well, but what are my needs? Well, if you're trying to build muscle, if that's your primary goal, is hypertrophy, or like I just say, hypertrophy, right? I'm not one of these pretentious bastards. Hypertrophy, because it's hyper and trophy, right? If I'm trying if that's my main goal, then what the hell do I need that kind of shit for, right? Yeah, you can look at it and say, well, yeah, but the textbook literature says this, and studies show that, and studies. Look, dude, science can't explain how the bumblebee can fly. You understand that on paper, a bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. Still, you understand that, right? So what you can prove on paper and what you can apply yourself in your day-to-day life, it really works, are completely different things sometimes. And I'm telling you, if you follow the pathways, the way that things work in the human body and are absorbed, and how you can generate the responses you're trying to generate, manipulate things trying to manipulate, to a degree, you would think that these are the ingredients. Of course, you're lacking the one huge thing. You're lacking a propulsion system, more or less. You're lacking a delivery mechanism. You need to stimulate an insulinogenic response, because that's what's driving the shit into the muscle, because this is the ideal time to supersaturate that muscle. It's like a sponge, literally. It's wrung out. Now's the time. Anybody that tells you this shit doesn't work and you can't do that and it's impossible, they're full of shit. They're full of shit, but they don't have any malice behind it. They're just full of shit because they just don't know any better. They just don't know any better. I mean, I can prove it. I can prove it with a tape measure. I can prove it with, you know, a glucose meter. I can prove it, you know, blood sugar meter. I can prove it in a million ways. I can prove it, you know, not a million ways, but I can prove it, you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But just that's enough. You know, I can show you my blood sugar levels, and that's managed by the end, and I can show you the size difference with and without it. You know, the pump difference. So anyway, and I also know that when I don't do it, if I didn't do it for like a long period of time, and everything else remained the same, I wouldn't be as full. I don't walk around as full. It's just simple as that. It's fact. So I'm not going to review the product yet, because what I'm going to do is they were kind enough and generous enough to send me 2 tubs of this stuff. And there's some positive sides to it through my eyes as well. I see what they were trying to do, and they really have gone about it in a much better way than the majority of companies would. They really have, with the ingredients they put in there. It's just, I think it's lacking a couple ingredients, but then from the angle with the, you know, the stimulant angle, they're completely covered. You know, so that's not the angle I care about. Anyhow, so I'm not going to review their supplement right this minute. That's coming up. But first, I took the other tub that they sent me. I'm consuming one, giving it a fair shot, trying it with all kinds of different ways and under different circumstances. And then I'll give the other one to a younger, hipper, cooler, no doubt, person that trains within our fold somewhere. And that person can sit down with me and we can do a review jointly, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to really rate high with somebody like that. So I think that's a win-win. But anyway, whole thing about this pre-workout shit, guys, is you know, somewhere you got to figure out what are you trying to do and what is the purpose of the pre-workout. What does it serve? It just serves to jack you up, like, you know, like this, or you're like, oh, is that what you're after, or are you really after hypertrophy? You know, and what interest does it afford you in those in that direction, to that end? And really, what does it in application work? Not just you can say, whoa, on paper it says this, that. A lot of guys are still sitting around telling me what it says on paper, and they haven't gained any real muscle. So, you know, the shit that I tell you is not like really far-fetched crap. The shit that I tell you, you know, coincidentally enough, every other really large bodybuilder tell you the same shit is true. The same shit is true. It's not, I'm not the only guy. It's never a guy that looks like me with this much muscle telling you this, you know, oh, that doesn't work because of this. No, it's never that. You know, you can't do this, it doesn't really work, it's bro science. Really? Well, all of us say it works. And, you know, a lot of people out there are looking at guys like us and saying, what are those arms, almost 22? Yeah, I'd like to have 22-inch arms. Really? Well, here's how, you know, shit that I tell you is the real shit, man. It works in application. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to jump off here. I don't want to make them too long. I'm trying to keep them a little shorter and sweeter. You know, maybe. Trying. What can I do? It is what it is. We all have our shortcomings. You guys take care. Have an awesome night, and hopefully be back shortly.